Sit here so that.
It's good to be back. This is probably like,
Over there. You want this one open?
for a lot of people, this might be your last training before you start selling. I know that Jackson starts tomorrow, leaves tomorrow. So that's awesome. Cool. We're gonna go over service agreement and solidifying the sale tonight. But first you have to hear the boring stuff from me. If this works. Which apparently does not. Oh,
I didn't.
that's what ON means.
Yeah.
I was confused.
ON.
All right.
Gotta turn it on.
We have about 25 reps out selling right now. You guys are next. This is smaller than I remember. Sorry, I can't read it. Make sure you're training on your own in addition to these trainings. I know you guys are. Slack, make sure you got Slack set up on your phone, notifications on, checking it every day. This is the time of year where even if you're not selling yet, you might think, I'll start looking at that once I start selling, but you need to be looking at it now because a lot of stuff with setting up housing, setting up your getting your sales gear stuff. There's permit applications and licenses we're already working on. So we need you guys to be very aware of what's going on in Slack so you can send the stuff we need. So please check it, make sure it's on. Knocking gear. I have this whole back area is full of bags for anyone that's starting between now and May 10th has a bag back there. So please, if you're here, take it tonight. And also, if you can grab stuff for like your friends, like if you have people on your team or people that you're driving out with or that you're going to be selling with that are flying, you can't get their own bag. If you will grab a bag for your friend, I'll hook you up. I decided to do a little incentive tonight.
Ooh.
So, anybody that takes their bag plus one, you'll get a shirt. Okay, you want a shirt? This is like 3 seasons ago.
Vintage.
Can't find it.
Vintage.
Gear. If you take 2 bags plus yours,
Okay, I actually
you
want
get
that.
a wallet. And if you take 3, you get this JBL speaker. Now, you have to take them, then you have to give them to the people. You can't just go put them in your car and then never see them again. So, some of you don't know anybody who's back there, so I'm sorry if that's the case, you can't qualify, but if you have friends on your team, grab their bag, I'll hook you up. All right. Upcoming this Saturday, we got our real estate meetup number 3. So this is the Parker's Underdog Wealth Academy real estate class. You guys have exclusive access. Just show up and get the knowledge. That's Saturday morning at 9 a.m. right here. So come check that out. And then a week from tonight, we have a personal development training here with Doug Cartwright. Parker, you want to talk a little about who that is?
Yeah, Doug runs Alchemy Sales Coaching, and he's been in the game way long time. Has a really awesome podcast. Interviews like the best. He coaches and interviews some of the best, most successful people in our space. So he's legit. Worked at Vivint for like 10 years, and then started his own coaching business. But anyway, he's written a book. He's really an impressive dude. I grew up in the same area as him, and I hit him up and asked him if he'd come speak to our people. I think he'll probably dive into some like mindset stuff too. So it'll be somewhat technical and then somewhat mindset focused, but it'll be worth your time. Come next Wednesday night.
Perfect. Awesome. And then 2 weeks from tonight is our final sales training here at the office. So after that, most of us are going to be out selling or finishing up school and getting ready to sell. So that will be our last one. Okay, apparently I did some weird things here with this. I don't know what's going on. There you go. I'm still missing badge photo from these people. So, and most likely I've already printed the badges and we just had to not print these people's badges. So, April, Alex, Andy, Ben, Catcher, Chief, Dominic, Garrett, Hunter, Ivan, Jamal, Marin, Matt, Neo, Noah, Taylor, Trey, Tristan, Will, Wyatt, Zach, Zed. Some of these people are brand new. They just signed recently, so that's why they're on there. But If you see your friend on here, text them. If you're on here, come in the back, I'll take your picture tonight. And then the driver's license photo, these are important because this is required for some of our permit licensing. We have to, sometimes also for like housing, we need your driver's license to get that stuff done, so. Just, it's mostly a lot of the same people down here, but just look for your name. That's it. So if you also, the last thing, if you're not selling, if you're not leaving before May 10th and your bag's not back there, but you would like to grab your stuff tonight, I can put it together for you real quick. So, don't feel like you can't get your stuff tonight if it's not back there. We're just doing it in chronological order so we don't miss anybody. But if you won't be able to come next time or you're not going to be in town or something, tell me tonight and I'll get you your stuff tonight because it's more important that you get it than anything else. So, any questions for me? Anything? All right, Parker, you're up.
Hey, let's do it, baby. Okay. I was out in the trenches last week and the doors are calling all of us. It's almost time. Jenna, what's up, sis? Guest appearance. Okay, so tonight we are going to cover the service agreement, solidifying a sale. So kind of that last bit with the customer when they've already given you a yes and you're signing them up. So we're gonna walk through the process on that. And then the second half of tonight, because this is not going to take super long, we're going to go through just some wholesale demos. And I'll have some veterans. I haven't prepped many veterans, but I'm going to have some veterans come up tonight and just do some role plays. We'll just let's just get some reps in and see some good examples. If there's stuff that I would do different, maybe I'll do some coaching. And anyway, that's kind of what's on the agenda for tonight. So, but yeah, we have reps out selling. Joseph White sold 7 today. Remember I introduced Mosquito Joe. I told you guys Mosquito Joe's a beast. Joe sold 7 today. There were like 6 reps that sold 4 today. Anyway, we're rolling. It's going to be an awesome year. So my little brother sold 3 today, which just brings joy to my heart. Amazing. 18-year-old. Okay, so the service agreement looks like this. You're going to use your phone to sign people up or an iPad this summer. So first of all, you're going to download an app called Pest Routes Sales. It's a green app that has like 4 dots on it. So if you haven't downloaded that, that's your first move. I'm going to screen share my phone on the screen here and show kind of like a dummy example of like signing someone up so that I can teach you the flow. But when the customer receives their email, so what's going to happen is you're going to grab info, sign them up, fill out the agreement. They're going to sign it with their finger on your device, and then it's going to send to their email like immediately. So right when you submit it, it goes to their email, and it's going to look like this. So I'm going to first just show you like how the layout looks in terms of the service agreement, and then I'm going to share my screen and show you like the steps to set this up to make it look this way. Does that make sense? So the first boxes there are just like the customer's info. So we need name, address, city. Email is super important, and phone number. So we're going to communicate to the customer through their phone number and email. And if you get that wrong, it creates a pretty big problem because we're selling like long-term accounts and you don't get paid unless they pay their bill. And they will very likely not pay their bill if we don't have an email and a phone number on file, because like it's just like it's like off to a really bad start. So make sure you get the right info on that. You're going to like summarize the bugs that they were worried about. A lot of times, you're just going to click an all general bugs button that I'm going to show you here in a minute, unless they have like something that they were super big on, and then you can like check some of the boxes that were big for them as to why they signed up. So you're gonna like grab their info, confirm the bugs that they signed up for, and then there's gonna be something that looks like this. It's like a calendar, and it's gonna show the customer what they're paying every month and when we're coming. So I'm gonna show you on my phone, it's gonna make more sense, but basically, you're gonna show the customer how often we're coming in the service agreement and what they're paying per month. And then, yeah, so that's kind of how that's gonna go. So contact info, bugs. You're gonna remind the customer that we guarantee the home, so if they see bugs in between, that's contractual that they can call us anytime. Boom. Okay, so I'm gonna pull this whole thing up, and then I'm gonna, let's see, I'm gonna start with just screen sharing, and then I'm gonna go back and kind of use this here in a minute. So there's gonna be some back and forth on this tonight. So I'm gonna share my screen now. This is the training room. Oh, I have to do this. Okay. Share. Okay, who has Pest Routes downloaded? Raise your hand. Okay, I would recommend downloading it real quick. Theron, we probably don't have a login yet for everyone here, because they're kind of.
No,
Okay, that's okay. So maybe,
but some guys here might have one and know they have one, like, no, maybe?
okay, not the biggest world, not the biggest thing in the world, but I am gonna start with this, so this will probably make your manager's job easier. When you get to your market, your login for Pest Routes is going to be, there's 4 clients that we sell for. If you're selling for Palisade this summer, it will say Palisade Pest, that will be the company name. If you're selling for Anchor, it'll be Anchor Pest, is that right now?
Yeah.
Anchor Pest. If you're selling for Frontline, it will just be the word Frontline, not Frontline Pest, but just Frontline. And then what is Bug Sharks? Do you remember?
Off the top of my head, I don't remember, but we'll send it out. It's
Okay.
probably Bug Shark.
Yeah, I think if you're in Cincinnati, it's Bug Shark or Bug Shark Pest. Your username,
That's the exact wording.
your username, no matter what, will be your capital first initial dot last name with the first initial capitalized. Okay, and then the password, no matter what, so this is company wide, will be capital POINTE 2025. So the only thing that's going to be different is your username and then the company name, and that will log you in. So when you get into your market and you have the app downloaded, put that into Pest Routes, and there will have your account activated based off of your start date. If your login won't work, then message Theron on Slack and say, hey Theron, I need my Pest Routes login activated so that I can log into the app and get working. Any questions on that, on just logging in? Okay, so that's pretty straightforward. So this is the layout of this app. So the first feature is the map, okay? I'm not gonna go a ton into this tonight, but this is how you're gonna like prospect. So I'm just gonna zoom into one of these areas. So this was Jackson today in Alabama, sold 3 accounts. These stars that light up are customers that he sold today. I can drop pins on homes. So like, let's say I hit this house on the corner here. They say they're not interested or whatever, and I can change the pin and stay organized in my area. So your managers will help you guys if you get there. If you're a first year rep, learn how to use the map feature. Yeah. But you're gonna get assigned an area. You're gonna work this area for a couple days, right? When I have someone that's ready to sign up, I'm gonna use this customers tab. And this is where I'm gonna like, get the agreement created. So I'm gonna hit the top left, add new, boom. And this is when I'm like literally signing someone up. So I'm like, hey, what's your first name, last name? So Bob Johnson. Bob Johnson. gmail.com. I can use this auto address. So this auto address is kind of helpful if you're standing on their property. That like GPS will basically target wherever you're at. So I would just auto address, that's right, so that's our address to your point. I would do that and then just confirm with the customer and make sure that it got it right, because there's sometimes where it'll get it wrong and you don't want to have the wrong address, right? So put the auto address and then confirm with the customer. Sometimes you can make a joke like, oh, my system thought you were at, this other address or whatever. Let's adjust it, get it right. And then the first big thing you're going to do here, so after I grab this basic info, is you're going to hit this floppy looking disk in the top right corner to save. You got to hit that every time you're ready to move to the next. Let's see. Oh, why give me that? That's weird.
Why did you try to put a huge address in on that one?
Yeah, I don't know. It worked out, I don't know. So hit save, and then you're going to move on to the next tab. So now I'm in creating the subscription that I sold them. So I'm logged in with Palisade. With Palisade, we have 3 options. You can sell General Pest Control plus mosquito, General Pest Control, or actually no, this one's just termite. So you can sell General Pest Control, mosquito, and then termite. Those are your 3 options that you can sell. So I'm going to pick the subscription. So I'm going to say General Pest Control. I'm going to change my price. So let's say I charged a $150 initial. And then I'm going to go down and I'm going to change the recurring, which is the monthly price. So we bill monthly, like we talked about. So you charge an initial plus your monthly. So let's say I'm charging $60 a month. And then I'm going to save in that top right and give it the floppy disk. Okay. I personally skip the pay tab. I'm going to come back to it, but I generate the agreement. I send it to I generate the agreement and I'm going to show the customer, okay, I have this pulled up now. I'm going to click all General Pest Control. I scroll down and this is where I'm going to show them what they're committing to, right? So I just sold them on this idea that I'm going to come 4 times a year. Right now is April, so I'm going to check the April box, and then I come every 3 months throughout the year. So see those blue 4 check marks that I just did? That's signaling to the customer the month that I'm going to be coming on a schedule throughout the year. And then right there, I'll just tell the customer again, I say it like 5 times throughout my pitch, like you can call me in between these services if you see any bugs. And then I'm going to write in, because it's April, what they're paying for their initial. So that top line there is what they're paying for their initial service. So in this case, it was $150, right? Amount remitted with agreement. This will all generate perfectly. So like, because I put it in properly on the last tab, it will generate properly here. The only thing I have to add here is I just have to add the amount remitted with agreement. This is just what they're paying on the first visit. So that's $150. I can hit auto pay, go to the bottom, and I'm going to have the customer sign. So they initial it, sign it with their finger, save, and then I hit sign agreement, which I'm not going to do because it will probably show up as a sale or something. And then once that's done, I am going to now go back and get their card info. So this is just the steps that I do it in. So the customer has committed, they've signed the agreement, and then I go, cool. And then as far as paying for it, I do debit or credit, whatever works better for you. What do you want to use as far as paying for it? Credit's cool. Okay, awesome. If you want to go get the card for me, I need that in order to reserve the time window for you. So they go get the card. I put that in right here, like card number, expiration, CVV. That goes in, I save it. And then my last thing I do is I go to status and I schedule it. So these are technicians. I hit one of the techs, it'll pull up his schedule and I put it on him for tomorrow or for whenever I have openings. Okay. Any questions on this process? I know that felt probably like a lot and all at once, but I just wanted you to see someone kind of like walk through that process. So if I'm doing that in a role play setting, I mean, honestly, like there's not a lot of art to it. Like you're just going through it, doing it with confidence. There are some closes throughout that I need to use, like the debit or credit close is a good one when I'm asking for payment. So I'll be like, cool. So like I said, we just break it up into monthlies. It's $60 a month. You want to do a debit card or a credit card? That either or close is really good. But that's kind of it in terms of the service agreement. So Any questions on that? And then once they sign it with their finger, immediately they're gonna feel like a vibration in their pocket because the service agreement went to their device. And so you can tell them that, like, hey, you'll have a copy of all this and you can look it over. And that on that, it'll have our phone number and our company name and all that stuff. So you're good. Because sometimes you'll get like old school people that are like, do you have a card on you? Like on the way out. And I just usually tell people, we're digital. What you have in your email is like my card. It's the service agreement, has my phone number, my company name, and everything. So, okay, cool. So we're gonna go back to the presentation. Okay, so basically I'm gonna go, how do you spell your first and last name, grabbing that info, review the bugs. I'm gonna get next to them and I'm gonna show them that schedule, right? So cool, so let me show you how this works. I come 4 times a year and I like have those boxes checked with my finger. It's $60 a month, like I said. We're asking you to try this out for that first year. So it is a commitment for that first year. Past that, if you don't like it anymore, you don't have to keep doing it. Yeah, and then yeah, the last thing I just wanted to cover on this is just like solidifying the sale. So like every time I sell one after the deal is basically done, like on the way out, I do like the same thing. So I'll be like, if Jackson's my customer, I'll be like, Jackson, hey, thanks again for giving me a shot. Like it means a ton. I'm gonna do an awesome job. You're gonna love this service. And then I'm gonna remind the customer 3 things. So there's 3 things that I'm gonna say on my way out. And again, like the deal is basically sold, but I'm gonna say these 3 things every single time. I'm gonna say, I'm gonna remind them that it's a commitment for the first year. I'm gonna remind them that it is normal sometimes to see bugs in between the visits. And sometimes like it's part of the deal. Like sometimes we stir up the bugs a little bit after that first one and they might see some pest activity. It doesn't mean it's not working or that they got scammed. It just means that it's part of the process. Like call us. That's why we have the guarantee on it. You can call us anytime in between. And then the third thing is that you're gonna put it on a schedule on a technician in a 2-hour time block. That's a 2-hour arrival window. So like if you put it on the tech schedule for let's say like a 2 to 4, that means that the technician can show up anytime between 2 and 4 and be on time. So that's the expectation you have to tell the customer. So what will happen sometimes is like if you don't say that simple line, you know, Trey sells the deal, walks out of the house. They're like, dude, I just got sold. I can't see the kid anymore. He's down the street. Maybe I just got scammed. And then they're waiting for 2 o'clock. And now it's 2:30. Now it's 2:45. And they're like, dude, this freaking guy scammed me. Like this tech's not coming. But if you just said that simple line of he will come sometime between 2 and 4, and he might be, it could be anytime in that window, then expectations are set and they're probably not going to panic and probably not going to cancel, right? Same thing goes with any of these lines. Like just remind them that it's a year-long commitment, remind them that they're going to see bugs in between. And if they do, then they can call us. And I take them on the way out, shake their hands. Like people love just that kind of vibe of like, hey, thank you for giving me a shot, you know? So anyway, anything that I missed, like veterans, like things that you guys do to solidify a sale or make sure that your retention is really good, or yeah, Kyle.
I don't know if you were touching this, but you were touching like the notes that you put in for the.
Good thought. Yeah, yes, that's a way good thought. So in pest routes, there's a section on that status. When you go to schedule the job, there's a section where it says appointment notes. And if there's something specific to that customer, like let's say they have dogs and they want the gate, like they want to know, I don't know, like they have dogs or they have a wasp nest that's like super important to them on this side of the house, like anything like that that the customer is going to care about, put that so that the technician knows what they're walking into. Does that make sense? So that's going to set you up to where your tech is not just like blindly showing up to a job and like we're just hoping we solve their need. So anyway, yeah, there will be random stuff. Like some people have things with their family going on and you just have to be sensitive of it, or they want the garage done super bad. And if the tech doesn't do it, then they'll feel like they got scammed or whatever, right? So that's a great one. Like use the appointment notes to communicate with your technician. Anything else that, yeah, Noah?
I would say as you're closing out the sale, you'd be like, hey, these are just the expectations generally. And one I would add would be that you might see an increase in bugs.
Yeah.
For the first couple of weeks.
Yep.
And that's normal.
Yep.
And then before you close on the sale, don't close on price. Don't be like, yeah, so it's gonna be like $150 for the initial. Does 3 or 5 o'clock work? You wanna end on a win for them, so
Yeah.
you'd be like, yeah, so it's gonna be $150 for the first visit. That's for inside, outside, get around the whole house. We'll do the ticks and the fleas. And then would it be better to come around 3 or 5 o'clock for you?
Yeah.
There's just a huge difference in that. They're
Yep.
winning on the back end of that.
Yep.
So like a lot of rookies might get caught up like, why can't I close? Why can't I close? And that's probably why.
Yeah, when you're gonna go close, you wanna kind of like share some good info before to like put some sugar on,
Yeah.
you know, whatever it is that you're trying to go get from the customer. So, okay, cool. So that's that. I wanted to just cover like one more concept tonight. So which we haven't covered a ton. So when you're knocking doors, people have a knee-jerk reaction to be like, I'm good. I've been talked to, maybe someone's already come through this neighborhood or, you know, whatever. Like they're just people in general, like they love to buy things, but they don't love to be sold, right? So, due to fight or flight, people have a knee-jerk reaction to say no. So there's a difference between an objection and a smokescreen objection. And I know a smokescreen objection is like a concept maybe that you guys haven't heard if you're new to this, but if maybe a veteran in the room that's done this could explain to me or maybe define like what is the difference between a real objection and a smokescreen objection? Yeah, Sam.
Smoke screen is kind of like what you're saying. It's just they haven't really thought about it. They're taking the information. They just, oh, don't waste my time. I'm good. You know,
Yeah.
I'm not interested. Whatever.
Yep.
And the real objection would be like, let's say you're a great car or something, and they give you price objection. Say, I can afford this.
Yeah.
My wife doesn't want to do this.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, usually if it's a real objection, like they're educated at that point on like what you're doing and what the what the product is, what I'm selling you, right? But a lot of times people, like how many of you have had a sale where like their knee jerk was like, oh, we're good, thank you for coming by. And then they found out you're doing the bugs for cheap and they're like the easiest deal of the entire summer. Like I've had probably 1,000 of those types of sales. But the problem is like if you just take an L right there and you don't overcome that, then you're gonna leave a ton of money on the table this summer. So we've practiced objections and this cycle like you know, kind of a lot. And we have that whole PDF that we sent you guys. I know you've been grinding on that, but I just wanted to like point out that there is a process. Like usually these come really early on, like right away, right? So door comes open, you haven't even said anything yet, and they're like, "We're good, thank you, though." So it'd be silly to like spend a ton of time like reasoning with that or sharing like a logic statement when they don't even know like why you're there yet. So the best practice on a smokescreen objection is basically to do a quick empathy line and then basically just go right back into your pitch. So like if I haven't gotten to my name drop yet, I'm just gonna like quickly empathize and I'm gonna go right back into like playing my game and just doing my pitch. Where I start to treat it as a real objection is where I've gotten out my hook, which is who do you guys have coming out this year for the pest control or the discount? If I've gotten one of those two things out, then they've heard enough that I'm now going to treat it like a real objection. Does that make sense? So let me show an example on that. We're just gonna do some demos kind of the rest of the night. And then we're gonna go into some other stuff. But let me will someone grab me a clipboard in that room? Thank you. Noah, will you come up? Be my customer. I might have you do some demos too. Yeah, thanks. Okay, so smokescreen objection is before this. So if the objection comes before I get this part out, so one of these two, right? Like our bread and butter hooks are perfect. Trucks are here. I'm in the area. Who do you have coming out this year for the bugs? Or trucks are here doing pest control. If I can fit you and I can do it for half off. if I haven't gotten one of these out yet and they cut me off somewhere up in here, I'm not gonna let it like steer me off my path. I'm basically gonna like kindly empathize and then go right back into whatever I was talking about because they don't yet know really what I'm doing. Does that make sense? Okay, so I just want to show like one example of the difference between the two. And usually a real objection will come with like a reason, right? So like I'll do one smokescreen objection and then a real one. And you'll see like Noah's smokescreen is just going to be kind of like that knee-jerk reaction. But a real objection is going to have some like logic to it. So I can actually speak to what the objection is. Okay, so, okay, so let's say I'm knocking. Hey, how are you?
How are you doing?
Good. Yeah, I'm just starting up work on Brookstone Avenue here.
Oh,
Is anyone-
Palisade? I think
Yeah.
we're good, man.
Oh yeah, no worries. I totally hear that. I'm doing work on Brookstone here. Has anyone been by to let you guys know what we're doing?
No, what's going on?
Okay, so I do the pest control for about 20 homes in the neighborhood. I was curious who you guys have doing that this year for your home.
We actually don't have anyone.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's actually why I'm out here. If you wanted to try our service, I'm gonna be doing a bunch of work and I would be willing to do it for super cheap.
Okay, actually, like, I think, I've been doing this for a long time. We've lived here forever, so I just treat it myself. So I think we're good on the pest control.
Okay, cool. So let's pause there. So that second one, what kind of objection was that? DIY, right? So real objection, I have logic that like I can work with, or like an objection that I can actually work with now, and I can speak to it. The first one, what was the logic that supported like just kind of like shooing me away? There wasn't any, right? So I want you guys to before we get into a bunch of demos tonight, I just felt like we hadn't touched on that concept enough. And I just want you guys to know going into the summer, because some of you guys start very soon, if you get that knee-jerk reaction really early on, it would serve you super well to just empathize and try to get back to your pitch until you get to kind of like your meat and potatoes of your pitch, which is this stuff, right? Pest control, trucks are here, kind of my offering, right? So any questions on that? Okay, so now let's just pick up right in that same spot with the DIY. So DIY objection, we'll just pick up right there and I'll actually speak to the objection now because it's a real objection. So, okay, cool. Awesome. Well, yeah, you got to do something out here. So I'm glad you're doing something for the home. Just something to think about. I have had some people this year wanting to start up with us. Our products are really effective and they make a really big difference compared to like some of the stuff at the store, and it would make your life a lot easier. And I'm doing it for a really awesome price just because I do a ton of work in the neighborhood. Have you guys gotten a quote for pest control before?
No, we haven't.
Okay. Well, like I said, I'm going to be here anyway. If I could fit you in, I would be willing to do your home for way cheap.
Okay, I guess how much is that?
Yeah. Do you know the square footage of the house?
It's like 13,000 square feet.
Oh, wow. Big banger. Okay. Sweet. Well, I would just need to do a quick inspection around the outside of the house.
Okay,
And then I could give you a free quote on that.
cool.
Do you have a gate on either side of your palace?
Left side.
Sweet. If you want to meet me in the back.
The butler will meet you.
Yeah. I'll be your maid up on the inside. Okay.
I guess not getting a discount.
Yeah. No. Okay, sweet. Cool. And then I guess let me keep going. I want you guys to see like full sale stuff. So we'll just pause throughout and just kind of like talk through this together. So what happened on that? Like someone give me like a recap of just what went down.
It's almost kind of like you wanted to earn his business and like team up with him in a way. So like you made it like seem good to him because it was like, oh, you're doing it for super cheap.
Yeah.
And you know what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. I tried to kind of get in his corner, right? Like become his ally with bugs kind of vibe. What was the tailored response that opened him up to hearing quote out? Or like what was the logic that I used that gave me a shot to keep the conversation going? Yeah, Kyle.
You never received a quote before?
Yep, that was the close. What was the close was, have you guys ever gotten a quote before? What was the tailored response that I used or the logic? Yeah, Seth.
it'll make his life much easier.
Yep.
Inspection of the area, so it's.
Yeah, it was my products are a little bit more effective than what can be bought at the store. I would make your life easier and it's cheap. So those are like 3 nuggets that I shared. You know, so again, like objection here, real objection, DIY. Objection came, empathy. What was my empathy line that I said?
Gotta be doing something.
Yeah, you gotta do something that's smart, right? If I left that out, then this would feel like an argument, right? So that's awesome. You gotta be doing something out here for sure with the bugs. Now, my tailor response was, just so you know, I've had some people wanting to try us this year. The main reason why is my products are way more effective than the stuff at the store. I would save you some time and some energy. And if you have a 13,000 square foot house, like Lord knows you need some, you got time. Or you don't have time, you shouldn't have time. And then I can do it for way cheap. Have you guys ever gotten a quote, right? So that is the cycle that I'm using on that. Yeah. And then let's go on a inspection. So he gave me which of these 4? So I did my pitch and he gave me which of the 4? It was a form of not interested at first, right? So DIY is like a form of not interested, and then at one point at some point after I worked on him, he gave me the how much. So okay, now we're gonna go on the inspection. Okay, sweet. So now we're meeting in the backyard, and he's a DIY, right? So on my inspection, I'm gonna remember and keep in mind that he is DIY. So I'm gonna tailor it to him, right? And he has a big house, and I'm gonna keep all that, like, I'm gonna use all that. So cool. I'm Parker, by the way.
Nice to meet you, Robert.
Robert, awesome. How long have you been in the house, Robert?
7 years.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. Do you guys like the neighborhood?
Yeah, we love it. It's just quiet.
Yeah, you don't have a lot of neighbors.
No.
Out here.
Yeah.
Awesome. Have you had the home service before? I know you're doing it yourself. Have you had the home done before?
Not since we've been here. In the past, at previous homes we have though.
Okay.
I
Awesome.
stopped being so secluded, like nobody really comes out here. So.
Yeah, that makes tons of sense. Okay. And then in terms of like what you're treating for, what do you guys mainly see here at the house?
Mainly like paper loss in the summertime when it gets hot.
Okay.
And like just the casual ant.
Yeah.
Pop up.
Cool. Is it mainly on the outside that you see activity, or do you see anything inside?
We will see stuff occasionally inside, ants, but nothing like too big.
Cool.
Problems, and then maybe occasional spider.
Yeah, so this would mainly be prevention for you, but again, it would just make your life easier. I'm sure you got things to do, and this is what we do. This is what we do best. And so there's a couple things I would do to keep your house nice from the wasps and the ants and things like that you've mentioned. So those couple things would be, I treat the whole base of the home. So we would treat the foundation 3 feet up and 3 feet out around the whole perimeter of the building. The second thing I do is I granulate the yard. So that would help a ton to go get things out the source. So like ants, fleas, ticks. I can include mosquito, like things like that out in the yard. And then the last thing is I do the eaves of the home. So up top, we have a big long brush head, and I can sweep down what's up there and put product up there around the windows and doors, and it will repel spiders and wasps and things like that. So you want to have those paper wasps coming back and dealing with those. So, and I do that 4 times a year, so once a season. And you can call us anytime in between the visits if you see anything. So I know it's been a while since the home's been serviced, but we do it 4 times a year because that's how long the product lasts, and we want to be able to guarantee the home for you.
Okay.
So, and I would just put you basically on the same schedule as all the other neighbors that I do out here. So, like I said, I'm doing a bunch of them over the next day or 2, and if you work with me on the timing on that, then I can help you on the price. I'm willing to do it for a little bit of a discount.
Okay.
Are you guys here the next day or 2?
Yeah, we should be here.
Okay, cool. Let me show you a quote, if that's all right.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So let's pause there. Let's just kind of talk through that. So like maybe things that stood out to you guys in terms of that rhythm with the inspection. Yeah.
figure out what bugs he's taking care of, and then they're giving him that scope of service in order of like what seems most important.
Yeah, so job one is to connect with the customer a little bit, right? So I kind of did that. We were shooting the breeze a little bit. And then finding his need is next. And what question did I ask to discover his need?
Maybe something to do that with, like, what have you guys been?
Yeah, it's like, I know you're treating it yourself here. What are you treating for? What do you guys generally see here? And he said what? Wasps and ants. And so I was like, okay, cool. I have something to work with. So then I transitioned into like how I will help with that. And then in his case, like the value again, I kind of tried to speak to him like, this is a big, beautiful home, save you some time, and I'll take care of those things for you. And then I spoke to what my techs do, which is the yard, the foundation, and the eaves, right? 4 times a year, I come for free in between. And then what did I say for urgency? So it's super important right here to plug urgency before I get into my rate card. What did I say for the urgency? Yeah, Eli.
Because my texts are already in there, we like to push them.
Yeah, I just reminded him of the tone I set on the porch, which is like, hey, I came by because if I, my trucks are here. If I can't fit you in, then I can do it for cheaper. What's another way to build urgency right there? Do you have any ideas on that? Yeah.
Say like if you want to work with me on time and not work with you on the
Yeah,
price.
yeah. So same concept. You can say it that way. What's another way to build urgency? Yeah.
Talk about how like it's gonna warm up and the bugs are gonna come off.
Okay. Yeah. That's for sure. Like the time of year, I was using that a lot last week. And again, the springtime, it was like, hey, I'd love to get this done. I'm here the next day or two. This is gonna help you a ton over the next like month or two as it warms up. So that can build some urgency. The answer I'm looking for is soft closes. So a soft close can be used right here. So a line I used a lot last week right here was, hey, the garage is included, or, I can do the garage as well. It's included. Would you want that done? Yeah. So that simple question, what is that simple question? Like, yes, that question, him answering that tells me if I want the garage done or not, but what is the other sneaky thing it tells me? Garrett.
That he's agreeing to go forward with the sale.
Yeah. It's like me testing his temperature, like, hey, I do the garage too. Do you want that done? And what if he says yes to that? In my head as the salesperson, I'm like, sweet, like this guy's we're rocking and rolling. Like I had a couple last week where they're like, yes, actually, let me show you my garage, and I'm like, bingo, like I'm in, But right there, also they could object and be like, hold on, like I'm not doing this yet, but yes, technically, if I wanted this done, I would want you to do the garage. And I'm like, okay, I got some work to do with this customer, right? So does that make sense? So the garage can be an awesome soft close. What are some other ideas for soft closes that you guys might use for urgency right here? Yeah.
Like the shed.
Shed is yeah.
the pond or like
Yes.
granulate in their yard.
Yes. Shed is an awesome one. Inside of the home, would you want the inside of the home treated as well? It's included. So those are some really good like soft closes that you can use. Yeah, you like.
Another soft close would be like, if we were to go forward, would you want that general pest and termites or?
Yeah, you could do like a subscription, like what are you, yeah, I love that. Okay, so now I'm in my rate card. So I know this is long and hopefully you guys, is this helpful to just like see it applied? I know the last like, it feels like 8 trainings were just like teaching concepts, but I felt like it'd be cool to just like actually run this through. So, okay, so I'm gonna show them price now. So cool, let me show you how the price would work. Robert. Rich Robert. Okay, Robert. So I come 4 times a year, and we just break it up into monthly payments throughout the year for you. So, yeah, like the subscription. That's right. So once a season is how often I come. For a home your size, usually the first one is a little pricier because we're just kind of starting up and we inspect it and the whole thing. Usually it's $500. I would do your first one for $250 for a home your size. And then for the monthly, it's $75. And that again just gets you 4 visits a year. So it's $75 monthly throughout the year. That gets you 4 visits a year. And you can call us anytime throughout the year if you see anything. So will you guys be here tomorrow if I can pitch in?
The price sounds good. Let me just talk to my wife.
Yeah.
She kind of runs the financials and everything.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I'm married too. I know communication is important in marriage.
Yeah.
I don't wanna put you in the doghouse, Rob.
Yeah, I just don't want to be there.
Have you guys ever talked about pest control before, like out of the time?
Honestly, no, like, sure, she's a surgeon and, you know, I got my own real estate thing going on, so
Yeah, yeah.
we're both pretty busy.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I wanna be respectful of that, obviously. If I could make it a no-brainer for you, I'm basically here trying to fill a couple slots. And so if you work with me, I would love to run your business. I do think in your guys' case, like, this is a big, beautiful home. And, it would take something off your plate for sure.
Yeah.
And so if I were to do that first one for $150, like, I'm gonna be here anyway, it's a fixed cost for me. And just try to make it a no-brainer for you. My hope would be that I would make you a hero with your wife and not put you in the doghouse.
I think that would help. I don't like showing her spiders.
Yeah.
So,
So I did the first one for $150, just so we can kind of make it a no-brainer for you. Does that sound okay?
yeah, it sounds great.
Okay, cool. Let me grab some info and then I'll get you set up.
Okay.
Okay, cool. All right.
Wow.
Let's do some takeaways from that.
I just have a question
Yeah.
about like coming back, like you're practicing kind of like, do you want to ever come back to their house? Like, oh, I really, really, really want to talk to my wife first.
The answer,
Just come back.
yeah, the answer is yes. Like, the answer is yes. Like, there are definitely occasions where it makes sense to go back.
Right.
If they are, like, some people like just legitimately will not make that call with their spouse without like communicating with their spouse. And in that scenario where I try to do a little price drop, or maybe I try to increase the value or something, let's say Robert is like, dude, that is like how we rock in our marriage, is we talk about this stuff before I do it. It's not about money, it's about like principle. I would be like, I love that. Like, actually, I should do that in my marriage. You're awesome, Robert. I'll come by, you know, like you kind of walk, like you're like, you get smoked by Robert a little bit, but yeah, like I would be like, cool, Robert, let me come by on my way out and check on you and see if it makes sense for you. So yes, there are totally scenarios. I'd love to hear other veterans on that, just like how they utilize callbacks and when and the whole thing. Jenna.
Yeah, one thing is for the inspection, I usually don't go all the way around the home. Like, you're just gonna be a portion of the home. And the line that I'll use is like, okay, I'll just finish up the inspection, and if you just want to call your wife, I'll meet you outside. And that works sometimes.
I love that.
And if they have an objection, they have an objection, but that's another.
Yeah.
And then I think also with callbacks, just making sure that you push them as like late as you can, just so that you're not rushing around during prime hours.
Yeah, because you're gonna sell a lot of accounts between like 6 and 7:30. Or 6 and 8. And so like as the summer goes a little bit deeper, it's really awesome to set those appointments with a Robert at 8 o'clock. So then you're productive after dark. Cause like you could knock cold doors from 8 to 10 if you wanted, but like you're gonna get the cops called and tick some people off. And so it's better and more productive to go backs after dark. So that's how, like, you see reps that we have that will sell 5 to 10 a day consistently. They're selling 1 or 2 after dark every night, and they're usually people like Noah in that role play that are like, I gotta run it by my spouse. And then sometimes you pull up and they're like, he's like, we're in, that's fine, sign me up. And it's like pitch black outside and you're just signing them up, you know? So this happens. So yes, go backs are fine. It's a crutch that you want to be careful of, because if you've served a mission in here, like your chances of getting, the like callback, like it's depressing, but not a lot of them.
Should you ask them to call their spouse first before offering to come back later?
Yeah, I mean, you feel it out, right? Like if she's a surgeon and at work or whatever, it may not be realistic. I love Jenna's thought, like because like what that thought does is tells the customer like this is not a big purchase decision.
Yeah.
Like run it by them over, go run in there, see if it's something they want to do. I'll meet you in the front. And sometimes I'll do like a little pullback with that. I'll be like, hey, yay or nay? Like I just gotta know. I'm trying to fill some slots, so no pressure. I'd love to get this done. I'll meet you in the front. You can tell me. So really good question. Any other takeaways or like just thoughts on this role play that we did there? Yeah.
So one thing for the DIYer,
Yeah. I thought it was also an awesome opportunity to find a butt confession. So he was like, "Oh, I treat myself. Oh, awesome. What are you treating for?"
Yeah.
Seeing that, like, send
Yeah.
message.
Yeah, I love that. I think especially on the inspection,
Yeah.
on the initial objection, sometimes if you just you want to share your tailored response before you close. So I like that as a close. So I would go, hey, I do it myself. Awesome. You got to do something smart. Just so you know, I've had some people want to try us this year, mainly because of those reasons, right? The save you time and it's cheap and my products are better. And then I might go ask a question like that. What do you guys generally treat for?
Okay.
But the one mistake I see reps make is they ask that question right back before they share their tailored response. And it's basically like putting the mic right back in the customer's face and being like, validate to me why you do it yourself. Does that make sense? Like, I do it myself. Oh, that's awesome. Tell me what you treat for. And then they like sell you double down on why they do it themselves. Does that make sense? So on the inspection, especially, I love to like use the DIY guy as a way to like build into the need. But I'm pretty cautious on the doorstep of pushing the mic back into their face and letting them rip. I like to tell Robert why he should not be a do-it-yourselfer before I ask him anything. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's just my take on that, but yeah.
I think something you did well, this is kind of just from like the customer's perspective, is like you kind of opened me up with like your smile and like that goes a far way.
Yeah.
But apart from that, like you didn't validate so much the DIY thing because like obviously context clues.
Yeah.
But like if you validate their objections so much, it almost just makes it seem like, oh yeah, I'm already doing this myself. Like why would I do this guy time of day? It was just like a one-time validation, like smart to do something. Boom, let me go into why this is better, and then like that was it.
Yep. One other bad practice on validating is repeating objections. So like, oh, I do it myself. Thanks for coming by. Oh, you do it yourself here. Like if you repeat what they say, it will like put their objection in concrete and like tattoo it. You know, it's like, I have a company. Oh, that's awesome. You guys have a company taking care of you. So empathy and validation are very different. And you want to empathize, which is like connect with the customer, show them that you're listening, but don't repeat their objection. And then, yeah, anyway. And with the words you actually use, you want to kind of find that balance. So anyway, any other questions on that? Yeah.
This is kind of really off topic, but I was just watching one of the videos on YouTube. And and I've thought about this a lot, just because I don't really know how to figure out what the square footage things are.
Yeah.
But like one of them was like, I don't even know what the square footage of my house is.
Yeah.
Like, what do you do with that?
Yeah, that's a good question. These are all good questions because they'll happen like day one, you know, and if you haven't heard of a good response, like you'll be like, I don't know. Okay, well, let's pull up Zillow together or something, right? Like, we are not like, this is a good question.
You just assume it's 13,000.
Yeah. We are not like helicoptering you as salespeople, making sure you stay in the price sheet in terms of like it's a good guideline to use, but you're not gonna like get in trouble if you don't sell it based off of the actual square footage. Like, so that's thought number one. Thought number two is most of the time in a neighborhood, homes are about the same size, whether it's a cookie cutter neighborhood where they're like literally all the same square footage, or if it's like a nice big neighborhood, most of them have a pretty good range there. So my go-to on that is like, okay, yeah, no worries. It's probably pretty similar to these other ones that I've been helping. So we should be okay on that. I just need to do a quick inspection around the outside and then I can give you a free quote. Does that make sense? Yeah. So it's like, you basically become the professional on the square footage of their home. Like totally, I probably have actually a pretty good feel for it just because I've been doing a bunch of work in the neighborhood. I'll do a quick inspection on the outside and then we'll chat in the back. You will get, there's a sneaky skill that you will learn this summer of getting really good at people's square footage of their home. Like you'll like, yeah, anyway, you'll get a good feel for it, but good question. Any other questions like that? Just like nuanced things that you guys have been like thinking about or things that I can help with tonight? Yeah, Jenna.
I have another comment on something that you did really well. I think when you're explaining the scope of service, when you start getting further in the summer, you learn more about what we do.
Yeah.
And it's easy to be like, let me tell you about all these cool
Yeah.
things my company does. And
Yeah.
people don't care.
Yeah.
And so just keeping it really simple. And then you always connected why that mattered to them. So like, we're gonna do this and this is what it's gonna do for you.
Yeah.
Because if you're just giving them scope of service, it doesn't bring a lot of value.
Yeah, I love that. Can I put you on the spot? Let's have you come up. I want you to do a demo. Let's go. We haven't had any emails up, so you're a beast and let's go. Jenna lives in Hawaii, so tough to get her involved in our training, but tonight is the night, so. Okay, so let's go.
Yeah, I
Let's
do
do
what
one
I
more-
say, not what I do.
Yeah. Let's just do one more demo all the way through, and we'll just do the same, kind of the same thing.
Funny.
Okay, so start at the top. And we'll just go through the whole thing, so I'll just surprise you.
Oh,
Okay,
perfect.
let's do
Okay.
it. Okay,
Okay.
hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you
Good,
doing?
how can I help you?
I'm just doing work with Bob and Susan. My name's Jenna. I'm with Palisade Pest Control.
Okay,
Who do you guys have coming out to treat?
for the bugs,
Mhm.
we have Rumble.
Ooh, okay, cool. You're smart to have it taken care of.
Yeah, we've
How-
had them for like 2 years.
Okay, cool. Well, just to keep you in the loop, I'm taking care of about 20+ homes in the area, and because my truck's are already out here, we're doing it for a good deal.
Mhm.
So if I can fit you in, we can do it for.
Okay, what do you guys charge? We're overall pretty satisfied with, like, with what they're doing.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's a good question, and just to kind of keep you in the loop. Jared and Sarah, do you know them?
Yeah, I know
Across
them.
the street.
Uh-huh.
So they actually were using Rumble and they upgraded to our service. We're gonna treat them tomorrow.
Okay,
They just liked that we were doing a little bit more and able to do it for a lot better than we.
okay,
Do you know about the square footage? of it?
it's like 2,200.
Cool. I'll just need to do like a quick inspection on the outside of the home and then I can get you a free quote. Is there a gate on the left or the right?
Yeah, there's a gate.
Okay, cool. If you wanna just throw on your shoes, I'll be on
Yeah,
that.
yeah, we can do that.
Cool.
Okay,
Thanks.
cool, good job, let's go. Okay, so let's pause at each, I want you to keep notes, stay up here. On now. Okay, so let's like replay that, right? So what happened? Switch over. So I would switch over, what was her initial approach? You name drop, and then she used, for the hook, she used who do you guys have coming out this year, right? Cool, and then what did I say? Got Rumble. Rumble will be in Arkansas this summer, so Jenna knows that one. She empathized, right? Like, cool, that's awesome, smart to do something, and then her tailored response was what? Yeah.
She talked about what her neighbors were liking about the service and why they switched on to Rumble instead of answering the question that you had her ask right after about how expensive it is.
Yeah.
So she was able to kind of maneuver it back into her control.
Yeah, yep, and she used the word upgrade, which I like that, like, the neighbor, John and Sue had Rumble, they switched over to me mainly because they just wanted to upgrade their service, they felt like we were doing a little bit more for the home. Which is good, you know, that's a good tailored response. If I have info more than that, then you should use it. But if you don't have more info than that, then that's great, and that might get you, you know, how much. Then she closed, which was important. So she shared that tailored response. She closed. And I gave her how much, but then I kind of gave her like I'm not fully there yet. And that's when she kind of gave me a little bit more to work with in terms of like upgraded value type thing. Okay, cool. So we did that. So now we're meeting the backyard. So I'm gonna switch over. So she'll have to kind of keep that in mind on the inspection. Okay, so now we're meeting in the backyard.
Okay. Awesome. My name's Jenna. What was your name?
Parker. Yeah, you too.
How long have you guys been in the neighborhood?
Like 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah, and honestly, a kid came by kind of similar to you and signed us up. And
Oh,
we've just had
yeah.
them since, so.
Yeah, they love to do that.
Yeah, you know, we have kids like you come by every once in a while, so.
You have any kids?
I have 2 kids, yeah. Yeah,
How old?
we have a 5-year-old boy and a 1-year-old girl. Yeah,
Um,
oh yeah, it's the best.
Seems like a good neighborhood for that.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Well, so you've had pest control before, you know how this goes, but, when you first called Rimble out, what were they treating for?
We dealt with, yeah, I think that when he came by, we had some ants inside, which they pretty much got rid of them. So, yeah, they seem to do a good job. We see some spiders every once in a while, but other than, like, that's not a big deal. You just step on them, you know? So,
For sure. Something that Jared really liked, like I said, they just upgraded. It's a pretty similar treatment, but we're gonna do things, like I said, a little bit differently. Every time they come out, we're treating 3 feet up, 3 feet all around the face of the home, and that's gonna take care of the ants. We're doing something a little bit different. You can see right here. So most products we're gonna treat, they're like contact kill, so it's gonna get rid of the ants for a little bit before they come back. We're using a residual product, so all that means is it's slow acting and it's gonna be for you.
Okay.
And then you can see here, a lot of the neighbors have been mentioning the wasps. Is that
Yeah.
something you guys?
yeah, we get those that heats up, but just for like a month.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not a huge deal, but they like that we're gonna knock down all the wasp nests and then clean the cobwebs. And then something that we do that's a little bit different in Rumble is we're actually gonna put up a prevention treatment. And what that means for you is it's gonna be.
Okay.
And then the last thing is, we're just gonna take care of like the yard granulated with these sticks.
Okay, so you do the yard too?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they do that, but yeah.
Anyways, like I said, because we're doing them tomorrow, I think that you for super cheap, I can show you what we do.
Okay, I think they were here, maybe a month or two ago.
Okay, and how often are they coming out for you?
They come every 3 months.
Okay, cool. So
Yeah.
same thing, and then if
Okay.
you have any problems in between, you'll come out and do it.
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask that. They do like the free thing in between.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you guys local or where are you at?
Yeah, so we're just here, family owned company.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. I can show you what this would look like. Your home was about.
Yeah.
Cool. So usually for a home your size, it'd be $259. But if we can squeeze you in, I'll be able to drop that initial down to just $50.
Okay.
And then I can do the switch to $50.
Okay. So you bill monthly? Why do you do that?
That's a good question. We just found that it's easier to break it up into bite-sized families.
Okay. This is a contract?
Good question. Yes, it's an agreement form, so we ask that you give us a shot for a year. And then we hope that you keep us for life. But
Yeah.
not for that year.
Okay. I think maybe they did the same thing. I can't remember what we started with them. So basically it's a commitment for the first year.
Yeah.
So it's $99 for the first one and then you said 55 monthly after that.
Yeah. And I mean, honestly, like, I know a lot about different pest control companies, and the reason why I'm out here doing this is because I believe in our product. I think it's special, and
Yeah.
obviously it's just pest control. Like,
Yeah.
you know, you probably don't care that much, but
Yeah.
I really do believe like we're providing awesome value or really good price. So if you'd be willing to give me a shot, I've got morning and evening slots available. What would work better for you?
We're here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm happy to try you out.
Cool. Thank you. I appreciate you giving me
Yeah.
a shot. I should grab some quick information. Do you mind?
Sure, yeah, cool. Let's go, Tommy.
That was incredible. Holy cow.
Waller. That was dang good. Jenna's legit. So cool. What did she do well? Like, what did you guys observe that on that second half? We kind of already talked about the first half. So on the inspection, what were some nuggets that you guys want to take away? And we'll close with this, just this last part. But yeah.
I like that she mentioned like something that we're doing differently. Just kind of saying like apples to apples, like this is what we're doing a little bit differently.
Yeah.
This is what we're doing more for you.
Yeah.
So that is just better.
Good. Yeah. That was solid. Yeah.
We had a really big connection with our customer.
Yeah.
At the very inspection.
Yeah, people will buy, especially on switchovers, more often when they feel like they've connected with you, you know. So like sometimes speaking more directly with someone, like, hey, if you'd be willing to give me a shot, like it would mean a ton. You know, those types of lines or whatever, like that. That's yeah, it felt like a person selling me instead of just like, pest control rep type thing. Yeah.
When she was talking about the wasps, she brought you to the wasps.
Yeah.
And then she didn't just say, yeah, the neighbors are dealing with them, we're gonna take care of those for you. She
Yep.
said, yeah, people have been seeing these, have you guys?
Yeah.
Like she asked you to make you say, well, yeah, like, duh, we're looking at a wasp nest
Yep.
right here.
Yep. Yeah. Way good. Yeah. Yeah. Love that. Yeah. Yeah, I love that too. Like it was like, hey, I know there's other companies out there. I'm not naive to that, but like the reason why I'm with this group is I believe in what we're doing. I believe in our service. It's just pest control. I get it, but like our people and our process is amazing. And that right before the close helps a lot. Like you're asking for their business and right before you can level with them. That's the word I like to use is like level with the customer right before a close, and it will increase your odds by a ton. So especially on a switch over or a DIY, both those, like, cause they're like kind of married to their, like either company or their products they have in their garage, like, and you're asking them for a shot. So like level with them can be really good. So anyway, maybe just one more thought that just like jumped out at you guys or anything. Yeah.
I like she like met your vibe. Like I know Jenna
Yes,
and I know
yeah.
she can be like bubbly and happy and stuff, but like
Yeah.
you were super chill and laid back, so she was super chill.
Yes. Yeah, I guarantee you, like, and I've seen Jenna sell, like, if it's some bubbly girl, she's totally, they're vibing together, like, laughing and giggling and the whole thing, like, I saw some videos last year that were, like, a blast where Jenna's just, like, making friends with people in their backyard, but yeah, that is selling, like, finding your person and mirroring and echoing them and making them feel comfortable. I found myself last week, like, I'm in the South down there, just, like, ripping, like, I'm, like, saying things, like, what am I, I'm, like, just, like I've never used y'all or anything in my life. I'm just like freaking vibing with these people. So anyway,
Y'all get them skaters.
Anyway, cool. Thank you guys for coming. We will meet again next Wednesday. And get your bag tonight. If you're leaving before May 10th, please get your bag. Work with Darren on that tonight.
Real quick on that stuff, so I think we have a bag for almost everybody here, so just come grab something. And then, you're gonna notice that there are a few things missing from the bag, so don't worry if your badge is missing or if one of the sales slips or something is not in there that you're expecting. All that stuff will be shipped out. We just wanted you to get the majority of like your gear tonight, but I know I have documentation of what's missing and we'll get that out to your manager before you get there. But anyway, just to reiterate, if you guys will grab a few for like your friends or people that you're selling with, that would help me out. So just come see what's back here if you would, and then